To explain when meditation is actually working, I'm going to start with explaining when it's not working. It's not working when you're caught in wanting, because wanting is essentially thinking. So there's two wantings. There's wanting something and not wanting something. So when you want something more, want to be something more, then you're thinking about that. When you don't want to be what you are, then you're complaining and thinking about that and trying to be something else. So this wanting is driving the urge to be something more than what you are, or something different to what you are. So all you have to really do to eliminate that wanting, which is thinking, is to drop back into what you are. And what are you already? What do you have inside of you already? You'll know that when you drop back into the urge that drives all that wanting. So the first step is drop back into the urge in your body. Feel it in your body. That urge to be something more, or to not be what you already are. And feel that. Even feeling into what it is you don't like in yourself that you want to be different to. Just feel that. And in feeling that, you've dropped out of wanting into what it is you need. And what it is you need is to simply be yourself. But to be yourself, you can't do anything, can you? What are you going to do to be yourself? There's nothing to do. And how long will it take you to be yourself? It won't take you any time at all. You're already yourself. So meditation begins to work when you simply be yourself. But if you're trying to imitate, in other words, you've got a religious approach to meditation or a spiritual approach to meditation, you'll be trying to imitate, as the Buddhist will try to imitate the life of the Buddha, or the Christian will try to imitate the life of the Christian, or the spiritualists will try to imitate the life of their guru, and so on. And so whilst we're trying to imitate the life of somebody else, we're not being ourselves. The teenager will try to imitate the life of the 25-year-old, and the 25-year-old will try to imitate the life of the 30-year-old. And the poor man will try to imitate the life of the rich man. And we're all trying to imitate the life of the ideal person. So this problem of there being an ideal or better way to be as a person is huge. It's been indoctrinated into us for thousands of years through religions and spiritualities and belief systems and cultures and so on. And so this is what keeps us trying to be something we're not, which we can never succeed in. So it keeps us on this treadmill of always trying to be something other than what we are. So what happens now? From a young age, people are looking at other people, thinking about other people, imitating other people, looking to their peers, looking to the people they prefer, looking to whoever stands out the most in this crazy society, and tries to look or be like them. And everybody's become inauthentic clones of one another rather than be yourself. If you're trying to imitate someone else, how long will it take you to be like them? You'll be doing it forever. If you're trying to imitate the enlightened person, how long is it going to take you? It's at least not going to be now. It's going to be tomorrow or the next day, yeah? Or in the future. It's always in the future. So we like to try to be something we're not, strive to be something we're not. Then we don't have to face the reality of what we are. And we just get stuck in the game that we want to play. And the game that we want to play is imitating one another. And that takes a lot of work. That takes up most of our life, most of our energy. So a total waste of time and a total waste of energy, because you can't ever be anything more than an imitation that way. How can you stop being an imitation? And stop being an imitation means you feel the fulfillment of being something authentic, something real. So there's no fulfillment in imitating. There's only fulfillment in the living sense of being authentically you. And it takes absolutely no time and no understanding even to be you. You don't need to understand anything. You are you, just be you. Just be you. Just be you. Whatever it is inside of you, being that is being you. Whatever it is in the sense of your physical sensations and your living experiences that are pulsating throughout you as a body all the time, that is being you. And it takes absolutely no time whatsoever to achieve that. It's not an achievement. It's what's already there. And when you're just being you, you are authentic. Whether you're angry or nasty or kind or pleasant or ugly or beautiful, whatever it is, just be you. And however you feel about that, just be you. Keep being you. You'll want to be different if you don't like the way it is to be you. If you don't like how it feels in you, you'll want to be different. How do you resolve that problem? Be you. Be the way you are. And being in the feeling of the way you are, that's all you've got now. Just the way it feels in there. And the way it feels in there, if you're just feeling it, not thinking about it, not complaining about it, but actually feeling it as a sensation in your body, there you are, just being you. Feels perfectly fulfilled then. Feels perfectly fine. It's not about being in a different state or a better state. It's about whether you are actually in the contact with yourself or disconnected from yourself in the striving to be something other than what you already are. So just being you also resolves everything inside of you that needs the attention whilst being you. So being yourself is the easiest possible thing you could do. You're already that. So how much easier, effortless can it be to just be you? That's it. That's as easy as it gets. Just to be you. Not thinking other people's thoughts, not speaking other people's words, not copying other people's actions, but finding your own thoughts, words and actions as an expression of being you. And how are you going to find your own thoughts, words and actions and be an authentic person? Well, you've got to find them from being you, because they have to come out of being you. So being you is the easiest thing you're ever going to do. And once you're being you, you're not trying to be anything else. You're not wanting to be anything else. If you're not wanting, which is thinking, either what you want or what you don't want becomes your thinking. But when you're meditating, when you come back to the sense in the body of being you, when all that thinking stops and you're just there, and when you turn from that thinking back to the sensation of you, what have you got? When you stop wanting or not wanting, you stop thinking. If you're trying to achieve something through your meditation, you're not meditating. You're trying to achieve something. You're not being you at all. You're not in the being sense of you at all. You're thinking. If you're trying to achieve enlightenment, if you're trying to achieve a virtue, if you're trying to overcome a condition, if you're trying to feel better, you're trying to be something you're not right now. That is not meditation. That is striving and that is thinking. And that's why people can't stop thinking when they're trying to meditate. So there's no meditation technique to bring you back to being you, because you are authentic. You are unique. You are whatever it is to be you. No one can even write a book on that. Can't write a technique for that. Yeah. Techniques are only there to homogenize you, to take you away from being you into what you want to be. But you can't be that because it's not you. So being you, when you're just being you, even the sense of yourself in the body, that's the easiest possible thing you could ever do. And just being you, you feel into that. You feel from the inside of that what it's like to be you. And the other thing is that it doesn't take any understanding to be you. Yeah? Being you takes no understanding at all. The only time you want understanding is when you don't want to be you and you want to figure out how to be different to what it is to be you. But just being you, you sense that, you feel that, but you don't need any understanding to do that. Understanding kicks in, or the urge for understanding kicks in, when you want to be somehow different. You want to understand how I can be different to the way I am because I don't like the way I am, so I want to understand that. And so you move back into thinking again, you're wanting again. As soon as you're wanting again, you're confused, you're disconnected from what it is you are, in the wanting to be some other way, which you can't be. So there you are, wanting again. There's no understanding required to be you. You come back to being you, however that is, and you think you want to understand that, to resolve that. It's the only time we want that understanding is we ask questions about ourselves when we don't like how it is to be ourselves. But that's not going to give us the answer. That's not going to give us the solution. So what's the solution when you don't like what you're being, what you are, and you don't understand it? Is the solution going to be in looking for that understanding or wanting that understanding, more wanting, more thinking? No, it's not. It's going to be in coming back to being you exactly as you are, even though you don't like it. Just being with that as it is. Being with that takes no understanding whatsoever. And being with that is exactly what is needed when there's any disturbance, when there's any disruption in the sensations of being you. Being with that is the only way for you to come to complete fulfillment and satisfaction in being that. But we're not looking for fulfillment or satisfaction either. We don't need to look for that, because as soon as we're being ourselves, there it is. We are all we can be. We are complete as we are, even though we don't understand that, or we can't tell anybody about that, not even ourselves. We are that, and that which we are is complete. We don't need to even recognize that or think of it in that way. Thoughts can't capture anything about the real. We can talk about ourselves, we can think about ourselves, then we're back into thinking and talking, and these will be other people's thoughts and other people's words. But when you come back to yourself, just being yourself, what words do you have in being yourself? What thoughts do you have in being yourself? Just try it now. Just be yourself. What is there to think about? You can't be yourself and think about yourself, can you? You simply have to be yourself to be yourself. Be in the sense of yourself, sensing your own existence. All is there. Now, you don't think about yourself there. As soon as you think about it, you're back into wanting. Back into, why am I thinking? Because I don't like the way it is in here, so I don't want that. I want something else. And then you're back into thinking. So wanting and not wanting is thinking. How does thinking come to an end? Stop wanting, stop not wanting. Understand that that's all thinking is, just wanting. What are you wanting for? You want to understand yourself. So come back to yourself, be yourself. That's the only understanding there is, but that's not a verbal understanding. That's not a thought-based understanding, is it? That's a direct sense of yourself, and that's all the understanding of yourself you're ever going to get. That's all you need. It's just in being yourself, and how is that? You can't describe that. You can't capture that in a word. There is no understanding required for that. That is the living sense of you. And that's where the meditation really begins to work. When you come back to just being you, whatever condition you're in, whatever needs to rectify, will rectify rapidly. But whilst you're constantly trying to be something else, copy something else, trying to understand yourself because you hope to change yourself from understanding yourself, you're always distracting from yourself and interfering with the process that's occurring. So the first thing to understand is any thinking about yourself, to analyze yourself, to label the condition you're in, to apply a meditation technique to try and change that condition to a preferred condition. This is not going to help you. Meditation has not begun to work if you're doing that. You're just conjuring up thought-based experiences that have nothing to do with being you. Until you come back to being you in the body of you, meditation has not begun to work. As soon as you come back to the body of you, as soon as you stop distracting yourself in thoughts about what you want and don't want, understand that all you have is what you are. And being that is the physical sense of you. As soon as you're in that, which you'll discover you are in all the time, and all you ever do is distract from that into wanting and not wanting something about yourself, waste of time. Nothing's happening there. You create different experiences through different techniques. So what? Thought-based delusions that have got nothing to do with being you. And no way they're going to make any difference. That's not working. What does it mean when you say meditation is working? Meditation is the total full realization of what it is to be you. And that's not going to happen outside of you in your thoughts about you, because there are no thoughts about you. No thoughts can capture you. Only you have the living experience of you. And that living experience of you is known to you in the body of you, just being you. So just be you now. Feel how that feels. What's it like to just be you in the deepest and the most significant sense of you? What's it like? You can't tell me that. You can't tell yourself that. But if you are right now just being you in a very different way, you'll know the answer to that. Not as a thought, but as your own immediate lived experience of exactly how you are right now. And that will change continuously. That will change every day of your life, depending on what you're going through, depending on what's happening, depending on what your body is processing and healing or recovering from. It's constantly moving, constantly changing. And it's the easiest thing you can do. The natural meditation of the body, of you, is happening all the time, just in being you. You're not trying to imitate anyone. You're not trying to imitate Buddha or Christ or Muhammad or anybody else. You're not trying to imitate the 20-year-old or the 30-year-old or the pretty girl or the handsome boy down the road or whatever it is. You know, it's a bit of a weird word. You're not trying to imitate anybody because that's not being you. And how's that going to fulfill you? Trying to be someone else, it's not going to fulfill you at all. It's going to confuse you more. You're just going to stay lost in that pursuit of being something that you can never be, because you are not anything but yourself. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you won't know that until you begin to be yourself. And this is when meditation really begins to work. Any distresses, anything you've overlooked, any pain, any illness, any traumas, they're all in there. They're all in your body. And what activates the healing process of these is just to feel that however it is. So come back to the feeling of you right now. Not the emotional states, not the thoughts about yourself, but the actual living feeling of you, the physical sensation of what it feels like to be you. And that's being you. There you are, all through the body of you. Just feeling that. That's being you. And that's when meditation is really working. Because the more you get used to being you, the less you get caught up in trying to be something else. The more you get used to being you, the more you spend time with you, just being you, the more you recover from all the things inside of yourself that you don't like the feeling of. And the more you recover from all the ideas about yourself that tell you that this way of being or that way of being is not suitable. And you start to understand something very, very unique, that however you are, even though sometimes, particularly if traumatized, you'll feel the presence of that inside of you as the sensation of distress, sadness, physical pain. All these things are there because of unknown effects from your past, from your life, still in the body of you. So you just feel that. You've got to catch up with yourself. Just feel that. Feel deeply with that. Be very, very deep into that. What I mean by that is don't think about it. Every time you catch yourself thinking about it, complaining about it, you're just reacting to it. Once you're reacting to your condition, you're no longer meditating. Yeah, you're now thinking about yourself. So the silence of meditation is actually the absence of reacting to yourself and thinking about yourself, which occurs when you really do start to understand that it's absolutely impossible to think about yourself anyway. You can't think about yourself. How do you think about yourself? Can you even think about sadness and get it right? Can you think about the cold and get it right? The sensation of heat? Can you think about the sensation of heat and capture that in a word, in a thought? You can't. They're forever separated. So any thoughts about yourself always separated from what it is to be yourself. And what it is to be yourself is a constant change of cold, hot, hungry, tired, energetic, fulfilled, empty, non-stop. And this is the living experience of every single creature on the planet. And you're one of them. You're one of the creatures on this planet. And you forget that. You forget that because you spend too much time thinking about other people's thoughts about you, which clearly are not about you at all, because no one knows anything about being you. You can't even think about being you. You can only be you or be lost in thoughts about what you want to be and don't want to be. So meditation only begins to work once we drop away from trying to be anything other than what we are. This is just an escape. It feels good. It feels good for a while, but this is not meditation. It's been called meditation, but it's not meditation. It's just thinking. It's just trying to feel good. Meditation is not about feeling good. Meditation is taking you deep into the sense of yourself, where you start to discover that whether you feel so-called good or so-called bad, however you feel, fulfilled or empty, that these feelings are exactly how you need to be. That whether you feel one way or another, it's of no consequence to you. Just feeling that, you're whole in whatever that is. If you're feeling your emptiness, try it. Next time you feel empty, feel empty. Don't think about it. Don't emotionalize it by complaining about it. Feel that emptiness. And in feeling that emptiness, you will fill it. You'll feel the fulfillment of that. And all the thoughts and the ideas and the labels that we have about all these different feelings that we've been taught by religions and psychiatrists, they're all just delusional states. They induce states matching those thoughts, matching those ideas. So they change how it feels to be us into a state that's caused by those ideas. That's all. Otherwise, you don't feel that way at all. You're emotionalized, you think that way, but you don't feel that way at all. And once you start feeling, once you feel without the thoughts about that, just feeling the way you are, everything starts to settle down. You will level out. You will find that just being you is the absolute solution to all of what you thought were the problems of being you. There's no problem in being you. The problem is entirely in trying to be anything but you. Anything but you. That's the only problem. Trying to be something you are not. Trying to be like that person. Trying to imitate this person. This is a very strong cultural thing. Come back to being you. And what do you got? You've got no wanting and no not wanting, because you're not thinking in being you. You are not those thoughts. They're just dead things. They're just images. You are the live, throbbing, animal being of you. You're the embodiment of life that this body is. That's what it is, to be you. And when you're there, or when you realize you're never not there, you just think elsewhere, but actually that's always there. So when you meditate, every single time, all you're doing is sitting perfectly still, relaxed, sitting still, and just wait a while and see what happens from the body of you. See what happens from the inside out of you. See what happens inside you. See what's happening inside you. What I mean by see really is feel. Feel what's happening on the inside of you. You feel it. And in feeling it, you're in the sense of it. In the sense of it, you're not separate to it. And that's all it is to be you. And in being you, you recover from the effects of life or the effects of your day. And you also recover the true sense of being you. The real you. Not the phony that you're trying to be, not the copy. Nothing like anybody else. You are only like yourself. You are yourself. So just be you. When it gets uncomfortable, be with that discomfort. So you're just sitting very, very still, waiting for whatever is happening to be felt as you get quieter into the feeling of you. And what's happening? What are you sensing? What's happening in your body? You are happening in your body. You are your body. What's that like? You can't answer this with a word. You can only answer this for yourself by feeling what it's like to be you. So you don't need to understand anything to be you. There's no understanding required to be you. You just be you. And you recognize you can't be anybody else. You can't be anything else. You're just being you. And in that, everything comes alive, more authentic than you've ever been, ever before. Whether you're angry, whether you're calm, whether you're sad, whether you're complete, however you are, satisfied, however it is on the inside of you, Don't even give it any of those words. I'm just using those words to describe something to you, but I don't want you to use those words. No words can capture you. Don't use words about yourself. That's what feelings are for. That's what feeling, the sensation in the body of you is for. That's for knowing you. That's for understanding what it is to be you. So there's no understanding required. There's no effort required. There's just being you in the body, or wanting something else, or not wanting to be a certain way. And that's all there is to meditation. That's it. So you go back to wanting, you're thinking about what you want, you're thinking about how you don't like feeling the way you are now. That's all wanting and not wanting. You go back into that, and you're back into thinking again. Drop the thinking. Drop the thinking. Be with yourself. Be yourself again. Be yourself. Oh, you don't want to be yourself. You've got no choice. With that understanding, I've got no choice. Oh, just be myself. But I feel sad. Good, feel sad. But I'm in pain. All the more important, feel that pain. Don't fight it, just feel it. Don't complain about it, just feel it. If you do complain about it, that'll pass in time, then you'll be back into feeling it again. And when you're in the deep feeling, the sensation of you in the body, that's as deep as your meditation will ever be, and that's the depth of being you. And thinking won't trouble you there. When it does, you find yourself distracted into wanting and not wanting. And you sink back into the urge of what you want, the desire of what you don't want. Feel that sensation driving that thinking. Feel that agitation of feelings that drive all of your thinking. When you become uncomfortable in yourself, then that drives the thinking of, how can I be comfortable? Without that discomfort, you won't think about comfort. When you become cold, you think about, how can I be warm? Without that cold, you won't think about being warm. So just feel cold, just feel uncomfortable, and you won't have to think. You'll just be that way. And being that way, you will discover in time that you are perfectly fine however you are. And being you is very interesting. Being you is very fulfilling. Being you, however that is in itself whole and complete. And there's no better way to be than to be authentically you, however that happens to be. And that's what you discover. And that's when you know meditation is working. Not that it's a goal, but when you're in the sense of yourself, in the being of yourself, not just thinking about what you want and what you don't want, not just thinking out a technique or trying to achieve a certain state, not labeling yourself, not calling yourself this or that, but going beneath all that knowledge about yourself into the knowing sense of what it's like to be you. And there's nothing you need to do to be you, is there? You can be you, and you are you right now, and that's it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining me today. If this talk resonated with you or helped you in any way at all, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the talk with your friends so that they can get the benefit as well. Okay, bye for now.